Welcome to the B2P English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, where more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Let's talk about what this means to be fluent and how to do it. First, let's just talk about this word, fluent. Fluent in 6 months. Fluent. What does this word fluent mean? Fluent has the same root as the word fluid. Fluid means flowing or moving like water. Okay? Water-like movement, right? So if you think of water, think of a river or a stream. How does it move? It moves effortlessly. That's why I use the name Effortless English. Water moves effortlessly and smoothly, right? That's how water flows or moves. So fluent, or fluency, we're talking about a smooth movement. Now, if we're talking about English, what are we talking about? It's the smooth movement of words, of phrases, of sentences, of the language. It means you speak in a way that's fairly effortless and smooth. The opposite of fluent would be to speak, like, speak like, this and, right? That's the opposite of fluent. It means the words are not coming out smoothly. They're not coming out easily or naturally. That's not fluent. When we say fluent or fluency, we're talking specifically about speaking and how the words come out. That is the real meaning of fluency, flowing like water. I often try to use the phrase powerful. Powerfully speak. So again, you're confident when you speak. The words come out fairly easily. They flow out. Now, let's talk about what fluency does not mean. It does not mean perfection, right? If you're fluent, you're conversationally fluent. It means you're fluent in a normal conversation. You're not perfect. You will make mistakes. You might make grammar mistakes or some pronunciation mistakes. Hey, I make mistakes sometimes still. So, you're going to make mistakes. It's not perfection. Number 2, fluency does not mean like a native speaker. Okay? So when you speak fluently, it does not mean you speak at the same level as I do. I learned English from when I was a baby. So it does not mean like a native speaker. That's a much higher level of English speaking. That's very, very advanced. You don't need that advanced level to speak fluently, for your words to come out easily, for you to communicate effectively. Fluency is sort of the first level of communicating effectively, powerfully. The words come out fairly easily. Do you need a huge amount of vocabulary to speak fluently? No, you don't. Again, we're talking about conversational fluency. When you are fluent and you're conversationally fluent, what does it mean? It means you speak and communicate fairly easily, effectively, powerfully in normal conversations. Normal everyday conversations, normal everyday topics. So, we're not talking about special topics like economics or business or something academic. No, just everyday things, talking about the weather, talking about your feelings, how you feel, what you did today or yesterday, what you're going to do tomorrow, buying a train ticket, going shopping, those everyday normal conversations that we have. For that, you only need about 3,000 words of vocabulary. Some people say less, some say a little more. I'll just give you the average, around 3,000 words. That's not a huge amount. It's not small, but it's not huge. So, if you can use 3,000 words fairly easily in natural phrases, you're fluent. You're conversationally fluent. Are you finished with English at that point? No, you're not. You still have a long way to go if you want to be like a native speaker, close to a native, but you can certainly be fluent in 6 months. So, what it means is you speak powerfully, naturally, smoothly, fairly smoothly, with mistakes. You will definitely be making mistakes still after 6 months. Don't worry about it. As long as people understand you, as long as you're communicating well, you're fluent. Let's talk about the next part of this. Fluent in 6 months. 6 months. What do we mean by that, 6 months? Well, honestly, if we talk about 6 months, talking about months is not really the best way to measure time for your goal of speaking English. Because imagine we have 2 students. One student only listens to English 1 hour per week, and the other one listens to English 10 hours per day. After 6 months, there's going to be a huge difference between these two. If someone only does 1 hour per week, they will not be fluent in 6 months. It's not enough time. Really, we should talk about hours rather than days, weeks, months, or years. It's the hours, the number of hours you spend learning English, that's important. So, when we're talking about getting fluent in 6 months, there are 2 important things, quantity and quality. Quantity means the amount of hours especially, and quality is how you use those hours every day. How you learn is also very, very important. You could spend 5 hours a day learning English, but if you do it in a way that's not effective, it's low quality. You need both quantity and quality to achieve this goal. Let's first talk about quantity. How many hours do you need to become fluent? Conversationally fluent. Well, it's different for every person. I can't give you an exact number, but I'll give you a very general estimate, about 700 hours. About 700 hours of quality, effective English learning, study, practice, and training. For some people, it will be more. It might be 1,000. For some, it might be less. So, let's say as a general average guess, about 700 hours. Now, here's some good news. You already have some hours, right? You probably learned English in school for many years. That was low quality, and a lot of those hours were not very good. But still, it's better than nothing. Okay? If you learned English for 5 years in school, you at least learned some vocabulary through memorization. Maybe you can't use it very effectively. Maybe your head is filled with grammar, and you're confused. You're not fluent yet. But it's still better than 0. So you still have some hours already. That's good news. That will help you. It means you don't quite need 700. Maybe you only need 500 to get fluency, which is great news for you. The other part is quality. That's the amount of hours you need in 6 months. The next part is quality. How you do it is very important. As I said, in school, it's low quality. You might learn English in school for 1,000 hours, but the problem is you're memorizing lists of vocabulary that you quickly forget. You're memorizing long lists of grammar that you can't use when you speak. It's too complicated. You forget. You're taking tests. You're stressed. You're bored. A lot of time in class, you're not really focused. You're kind of bored. When you're doing your homework, you're bored. You're half asleep. So, you might have 1,000 hours in school, but it does not really equal 1,000 quality hours. Maybe it only equals about 100 hours, really, because it's so low quality. You want to get the highest quality from every minute, from every hour that you learn English. That's what the bookish English system does. So what do I mean by quality? Number 1, power. It means it's a powerful way to learn. It means you are focused. You are focused and concentrating every minute. So, if you're listening to English, but you're kind of falling asleep or you're sitting at your desk, that's low quality. That's no good. you're wasting a lot of your time. Your brain needs to be awake. You need to be focused. You need to be listening carefully to every word, every phrase. That's the highest quality, alert, awake, maximum concentration. It needs to be understandable. This is something else for quality English learning. You must understand it. If you don't understand it, you're wasting your time. This is the problem. If you're at a lower level and you listen to a movie or a TV show, you're wasting your time. It's too advanced. You can't understand anything. Most of your time is completely wasted. You might watch 2 hours or an hour of TV, but really, you're getting almost no quality English learning. You must understand it. It can be a little difficult, but not too difficult. Very, very important. Understandable is super important. That's part of quality. Next, you need to have some emotion. Positive or even negative sometimes, but especially strong positive emotions will help you learn much faster. That's also part of quality. It's why I use stories a lot in effortless English. Just think about it. When you learn something with no emotion, just kind of flat, it's much easier to forget. But if you learn something with excitement, energy, passion, or sometimes even fear or humor, laughter, you are more likely to remember it and to remember it for a long time. So it needs to be emotional and energetic. Emotion and energy go together. A low-energy, low-quality way to study English is to sit at your desk listening or just reading a textbook, right? It's low energy, your mind starts to go to sleep, and you're wasting a lot of your time. But if you're up, if you're moving, if your heart's beating, you've got energy going through your body, you're feeling good, you're smiling, you're awake, your brain wakes up, everything is much more effective. Everything you do, you will remember better. You will learn faster. This is so important. You need the highest quality time to achieve this goal. I'll give you a quick example of this. Let's say you're trying to learn the verb to cuddle. To cuddle. That's a nice little word, to cuddle. Now, the low-quality way, the school way, the normal way to learn to cuddle would be to look in the dictionary for the verb to cuddle. Write down the meaning and then try to memorize it, to cuddle, to cuddle. To cuddle. Repeat it a lot. Right? It's boring, so it's probably going to be low energy. There's no emotion. You're just trying to memorize it. And then you probably have a list of a lot more words you're also trying to memorize. When you get to the end of the list, you've forgotten the first one. You forgot cuddle. And then you've got to go back and try it again and again and again. It's boring. It's ineffective. You waste a lot of time. By the way, what does to cuddle mean? To cuddle means to be affectionate, like to hug and kind of rub with someone. It has a romantic idea. It's not really sexual, but it can be. If you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, they like to cuddle, right? They're always touching and hugging and rubbing against each other. But you can also do it with children. Children like to cuddle. So if you have a child, you can cuddle and hug them, and it feels so good. Or even with a dog or a puppy. With a puppy, you can play around, hug him, maybe give him a kiss. Not like a super romantic kiss, but kiss him on the head. Again, it's more of this action of rubbing, holding, and hugging, to cuddle. So, you've got the one way, the old way to learn it. You just try to memorize it as to hug affectionately. But imagine a different way of learning this word. Imagine that a super sexy, hot guy or girl, whichever you prefer, comes up to you and you think, this person is so amazing,